everyone. Today's literacy challenge is called Roll of Story. So I've got some dice here. Those of you in my class, we've got something similar, and probably lots of other classes have done it too. So we've got a selection of dice, but instead of numbers on them, they've got little pictures. Okay, so I'll be rolling these later, and then your task is to write a story including the themes on the dice. So for example, if there was a picture of somebody swimming like there is here, in your story someone would have to be swimming. Okay, so you probably get the idea. But to challenge you a bit more, I've written a few things that I'd like you to try to include in your story. So in green I've written sensory language. So that basically means when you're writing descriptively, you're including things that maybe can be heard in the background, something that could be smelt in the air, what your character might be able to taste. Okay, so by including sensory language, it really helps paint a picture for the person who's reading the story and makes it more vivid so they can imagine that they're there. And by doing that, it makes your story much more interesting. Another thing I'd like you to use is adjectives. So these are describing words. So for example, if I was going to describe this piece of paper, I'd say it's large, it's white, it's cold. So those three words are adjectives because they describe the noun, which is the thing, the bit of paper. I'd also like you to try to use a range of punctuation. So I notice sometimes when people are writing stories, they get so focused on the content that they're adding that it becomes a bit, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. So remember, pause, take a breath and think, do I need to put a full stop in there? Have I asked somebody a question? So would I maybe need a question mark? Has something surprising or unexpected happened? And I'll need maybe an exclamation mark. So really try to challenge yourself with that. The next thing I'd like you to try to include is a language feature. So I know in my class we focused a lot on similes and metaphors, so that's when you're comparing two things. So if you're going to use a simile, I might say, the day was as cold as a freezer. So I'm comparing the day and the temperature of the day to the temperature of a freezer, using the word as or like. Now a metaphor is similar, but you say that one thing is something else to make the comparison. So I might say that the cloud was a ball of cotton in the sky. It's not really a ball of cotton, but it's fluffy and white and soft like a cotton wool ball. Okay? If you want to use some personification or some alliteration or some other language features that you've been using in your classes to stretch yourself, please go ahead. I'm sure all your teachers would really love to see some of those. One last thing to focus on is try to make your characters believable. So when we had our visiting author, he spoke about how he made his characters come alive on paper. So instead of describing them by saying they were 5'2", they had brown hair, they had blue eyes, try to focus on the things that make them stand out. So perhaps your character walked with a slight limp. Maybe when somebody said the word orange, their eye twitched. Or maybe they hated the smell of broccoli, or maybe they dreamed in black and white. So something that makes them stand out and different from the other characters people might have read in other stories. So I know your other teachers and myself, we're really looking forward to hearing your creations. So if you'd like to write these down, type them out on a computer, potentially even tell your story via video link and send it back, that would be fantastic. So good luck. Pause it on this slide if you'd like so that you don't forget what to include. I'll just roll the dice now. If you've got some at home you can use yours. I'll just do this as an example. Okay, so I have got two people dancing, so a bit of music, an apple, a football, a car, they're happy, there's lots of sunshine, there's a house, a table, is. I think it's a dog. And last but not least, there's what looks like a fireman. Okay, so that's your challenge. See if you can use these literacy techniques and the items that I've mentioned from the dice. Good luck.